Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your September 2025 astrology forecast. Right on the first of the month, we have Saturn retrograding back into Pisces. Last month and the before, we had Saturn conjunct Neptune in Aries. Saturn does not like being in Aries at all. It's a very different type of energy where Saturn can't do what it's supposed to do very well in that kind of fiery, assertive energy ruled by Mars. But Saturn in Pisces is a lot better, especially with it conjunct to Neptune. As you might know, in modern astrology, Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So Saturn and Neptune now are kind of on the same page. They can communicate with one another with more ease and flow. Now, this energy is traveling in your fifth house. So this is all about children, creativity, any sort of fun recreational activities that bring you joy. What I am getting is lately I've been seeing Saturn and Neptune energy as like the disbelief in the good. So things feeling like too good to be true, or asking, this energy is really asking for your trust for me this month. That's how it is coming through. It's a little different for every sign I read for, but their combination in your fifth house is bringing to my mind, asking you to have trust and faith in your own talents, skills, and gifts. So maybe you are a creative person. I know that you are definitely experimental, and your hobbies and activities probably range wide and expansively. So there's this sense of trusting your own voice, and also trusting that whatever message, whatever creative expression that you have developed is really finding the right type of audience. And I say this because Saturn and Neptune are sextile to a Pluto and Uranus trine. Pluto is currently retrograde in Aquarius, traveling through your third house. This has to do with communication, the media. So maybe you are, or you do have some sort of like a social media platform where you use your voice and your communication skills to communicate with other people. That's really the energy that I am getting. Now, Pluto and Uranus are both similar in a way that they are trying to create permanent change. And this change is happening in your immediate environment, in your one-to-one relationships. This can't even be romantic. So the changes that they're trying to bring into your life are being expressed through Saturn and Neptune. So there is this combined energy of creativity, audience, communication, the media, or even neighbors, siblings, cousins, and how you play together, if that resonates. It could be, you maybe have siblings that you live close to, and this month and moving forward, they're really coming into some sort of focus. They're likely to create some sort of, or help you create some sort of major change and shift in your life, or the way you have fun. Now, it is Virgo season. We have the sun in Virgo traveling through your 10th house. So there is an energy related to your career and your public sphere, and possibly a desire to come, possibly a desire to, what am I trying to say? There's this desire for you to show up in a work sphere or a professional setting as someone competent. So I feel like you're really trying to prove yourself in your career field. So Now, the 10th house energy is really important for you. So your career and work area are getting a lot of attention and focus because we do have the eclipses involving Virgo this month. On the 7th of September, we have our lunar eclipse in Pisces. This is where the moon is meeting up with the North Node in Pisces in your 4th house, and the Sun is meeting up with the South Node in Virgo in your 10th house. South Node is always letting go of past tendencies, past habits, or past ways of the way you showed up in work. So there is a sense of release that's being asked of you this month. And the energy is shifting towards a more intuitive, emotional, spiritual kind of expression. And it's kind of related to the home or your emotional roots, or who you are as an emotional being. So the Virgo in the 10th house is kind of releasing the standards that we have. It could be perfectionistic tendencies or some sort of traditional or standards that we have related to work. It may even be talking about that opposing energy of the traditional 9 to 5 versus, working for yourself, working from home, following a bit of an unconventional path. So maybe you are dealing with questions or changes related to your career, but that sort of energy is coming through strongly. On the 21st is our solar eclipse when the sun and moon are meeting up at the last degree of Virgo. This again is happening in your 10th house, but it also has a strong influence in your 11th house, as the last degree of a sign shows a major change is happening. And the solar eclipse is basically a new moon where the sun and moon are getting together and they're bringing new beginnings. So there is some sort of focus and emphasis related to work and colleagues in public or social communities that you belong within. And there is a change that's shifting there. Maybe you're even thinking about changing, or you have made a major career change, and it kind of it's a very different type of field that you're currently in. Possibly, you may have, for example, had to show up dressed well in an office environment versus where now there's just a bit of more leniency and free-flowing energy. Maybe you work in a co-op type of work environment, but there is just a need to let go of the traditional path to follow a more guided path that's related to your destiny and soul calling, like purpose, because the North Node is in your 4th house, kind of grounding you towards the home environment, your emotional needs, versus the South Node in Virgo is like letting go of that preconceived notions related to career success and achievements. And the South Node in Virgo, has been traveling through your 10th house. So I doubt that this kind of change or shift is new, but there is definitely new aspects to it. What else is there? Now, the solar eclipse is already obviously a powerful shift. It can feel erratic, it can feel restless, but it's more important because the sun moon at 29 degrees of Virgo are opposing that Saturn Neptune energy that we talked about at the beginning of your reading. So it's bringing that emphasis back into focus, creativity, but also doing work that's more aligned with the person that you are becoming or the person that you are. Saturn also is, in astrology, is representative of the great work of our life. Saturn is always kind of related to the legacy that we leave behind, and the fact that right now it's traveling through your fifth house, that really is making me feel like that calling is related to some sort of creative self-expression. So I'm getting a lot of that. Now, your fifth house is in Aries, which is ruled by Mars. Mars is currently in Libra, and it has been in Libra for the last month. Mars does not like being in Libra. This was kind of a conflicted, tension-driven energy because Libra is ruled by Venus, and Mars and Venus are, very opposite sort of energies. Mars wants to be assertive, be decisive, take action. It's about ambition and drive, whereas Venus is about, making connections, beautifying things. It's more focused on creating harmony and peace. So Mars wants to go in one direction, but Libra pulled it in like an opposite direction. That felt very frustrating for Mars last month. But on the 22nd of September, Mars is entering Scorpio, a sign that it rules. So it's kind of like a sigh of relief. It's finally coming home where it's comfortable. It can do what it wants with grit, determination, without anything standing in its way. Now, this Mars in Scorpio is entering your 12th house. So any sort of action or a sense of ambition you feel this month is really stemming from the darker realms of your psyche. So it's something that, you have a hard time explaining or defining, putting your finger on, but it is really soul-led. It's like falling in alignment. So I think a lot of this energy this month is going to illuminate a lot for you. I think your drive, but also craving and yearning for whatever it is that you want to do for maybe the next couple of decades of your life related to your career is going to come into a sharper focus. And you're just going to feel probably a bit more hungry for that. And it's going to be easier for you to take action towards this path in September, especially with Mars squaring Pluto. Mars in Scorpio is a very similar type of energy as Pluto. In modern astrology, Pluto does rule Scorpio. So there is this ease of communication and understanding between the two planets. Even if it is in a square aspect, there's just a lot more action-driven, craving even, type of energy that's gonna be like the engine behind your actions. On the same day, on September 22nd, when Mars moves into Scorpio, the Sun also moves into Libra, signaling the start of Libra season. And the Sun, Mercury, and Moon will be traveling on this day in your 11th house. So there's a lot of community, friendship energy here. You're likely to, feel the desire to meet up with friends and just be more social. Possibly people within your community can also help you out if there is any sort of support or information that you need to move forward towards the type of changes that you're looking to make. I think that's all the messages I have for you. I hope some of it resonated. If it did, definitely let me know, leave me a comment, and I hope to see you in October. Bye, Sagittarius.